Good morning. Hey, today we're going to start in on woolly whims, and I just want to have you know that we are looking at all the pieces are cut out, ready. I just have to lay them out and look. These are the fabrics for woolly whims, and I think it's going to be gorgeous. They're by Lamb Farm Designs, and they're made by, well, I guess I'll need to find my glasses, huh? But we're going to work on block number 2. And it's the first little lammy. So here we go, lammy. Oh, we're supposed to cover that up. There's our lammy we're working on today. Hi again. I am going to go through here. I'm going to readjust the camera so you can see what the heck I'm doing. And then we're going to work on labeling all the little pieces because, you know, I didn't do that yesterday. And I think I'm going to use a friction pen and just go through and label the back of them. And then, because, you know, there's there's more than 25 little designated 1 inch by 1.5 inch, 1 inch square, 3/4 of an inch square. So that's what I'm going to work on right quick here. And I don't think you want to watch me do that part. So I'm going to pause, get them labeled, and then we'll lay them out and get started. Okay? Thank you. Hold on. Here we go. Excuse me for clearing my throat. Okay, first things first is the body unit. So we're going to pick up the, let's see, the flipped corner method and stitch an L on the lower right corner of N. Alrighty, and that is the dark flowers and the little creams, I think. Here's N, and we need L's. Alrighty. H-I-J-K, L. Itty bitty M's and small L's. So we're going to put a snowball on the end of that guy right there. I think I'll use pins for this. You can't see me. Let me fix that. Okay, hold on. How's that? Is that better? And let's see about rolling it up in a little bit. That ought to do it right there. Okay. I only have one camera view. It's just an iPhone on a tripod that somebody lent me. So it's been working pretty good. I just have to make sure that you can see what the heck I'm doing. You know, here we go. We'll put it like that. Then you can see it closer over here. So we're going to snowball that corner. Actually, according to the picture, it is orient that up and down, and then put the corner on. And then we'll do the tail unit next. So first we're going to put that on. Let's go ahead and adjust this. Okay, it's trying to curl up the end there, but we're going to avoid that. That's too fast. There. Now, I don't like that. You see the stitching is not exactly on the corners. So I'm going to go over it again and make sure it's on the exactly across. Now that's better. Can you see that okay? Let's see if that'll lay down nicely. Probably would lay down better if I trimmed or ripped out that first row of seam. There. That looks pretty square. Not exactly right. I think it says to go ahead and square up everything as you go. So I'm going to use this one. Yeah, it's pretty close. Just a tiny bit too big. That's all, just that little bit of fluff. But now it's just right. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is the tail section. See, I've got my magic holder. It is easier to use this instead of digging around in the drawer. I'll have to admit that. But I was resistant to using it because it's just one more thing to collect dust. It's not in the drawer, you know. All right, well, next thing's next. The tail unit is probably the G unit. No, it's not. We need the K, little teeny tiny K. We need R, which is gray, I think. Let me look that up. STR, here we go. So beige and gray. And then an L, a little tiny L at the top. Now these are M's and these are L's. Little tiny. So that's the way that's going to go. Can you see that okay? So these two go together and then this snowballs the corner. Alrighty then, let's put that together. And the best thing on these little teeny tiny pieces is to make sure you get your seams just about perfect. That's the hardest part for me. But we'll give it a, you know, I've got this nice strip on here. It's getting a little ratty. Let me take that down. There, that's right on the money. Oh, here's my two little pieces. And we go. Okay. Oh, does it say which way to iron? Yes, it does. Away from the gray. Okay, and now we put this little snowball at the corner. Okay, so we're going to go across like this, from this corner to that corner. For these little tiny pieces, I try to use these very thin, here you can see them against my sweatshirt, very thin pins, which are thinner and more delicate than these heavy-duty ones that I think I got from possibly, I might have got those on Amazon. I couldn't swear to it. I know these came from one of the fat quarter boxes, and they're just so fine and delicate. Well, I think they did. I've gotten a number of different boxes over the years. I've gotten fat quarter boxes. 4 years ago, I got Monroe Mountain. That was only a short-lived thing for a couple of months. That was beautiful stuff, but I don't think that lady's in business anymore. And then I got a pastry shop, and I got at least 7 or 8 of those, and I love those because they're all pretty much all throw size, and they came with everything but the background, you know. And then I've done a fat quarter shop. I did at least 6 in 1 year because I had 6 blocks that went together for their year project. But that's, I duplicated the 6 blocks so that I had 12 blocks to finish it with. And then let's see, what else did I have? Monroe Mountain, pastry shop, fat quarter, Creative Notions. Oh, they had beautiful boxes. Had lots of different interesting, uniquely creative stuff in there. I like that. That's all I can think of. There might have been another one time. I'm not sure what it was. But I don't think they're still in business, so wouldn't matter. I guess this is one of those times when we need to have the header and the ender, because these little pieces are getting tangled. And again, I didn't come down the right. Oh well, let's try it again. Keep that right on the line. Here we go. Yeah, that didn't come off right on the line, darn it. Well, we can shape it up. We'll shape it up. And get my little ruler, and we'll take off that extra little bit there. Because, you know, if you don't make your, if you don't make that triangle go on there just right, it's going to hang over the end. And if you take too big a bite, it won't be large enough to complete the corner. So be on the alert for that. Now this time I'm using primarily the grid on the, I'm using the grid on the ruler instead of the grid on the map, because it's so, it's hard to get it just right on there. So we're just going to shave off just a, you know, a dab, just a little bit. And then we end up with this. It's probably reversed in the camera, but this is to my right. And so that's our tail unit. Okay, so we have our body unit, our tail unit. Okay, let's line those up. Now the next thing it says is a leg unit. Alrighty, so we're using gray, and it's number S's. So 2 S's. And these have a little sheep on them, so I'm going to just make them all directional so they actually, you can see them better. And we need to have an IHH. So two I's No, 2 H's. Here's our 2 H's. And a I. So I think that's this piece right here. Oh. Oh, yes. I'm trying to make that an H. But it's really an I. And this is one of those purple markers that disappears within 14 days. They guarantee. So we'll see. So there's the lineup for the... Oh no, it says to do those little itty bitty M's. 2 of those. I think they're 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch. And they're going to be on the corners of each here to taper down his leg into a ankle, I guess. Or on a horse, it would be the fetlock, I believe. But I don't know what they call it on a sheep. All right, we'll use the last of those. So there's only going to be 4 used, and it's going to be on their legs. Oh yeah, I want to use those fine ones. Here's one. There's one. I think it goes like that. Yes. So there, we're going to have one going. You know, I like to put the pins in so that the pins help me remember which way the stitching is going to go, because we're going to cross over the pin. We're not going to go in line with the pin. We're going to cross over the pin. Does that make sense? Okay. And now we got 2 more of those little itty bitty boogers. Let's see here. And this magnet pin cushion, really great. I love it. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna make, I think I'm gonna shorten my stitch so that it is more controllable, and I'm gonna use a header. So here we go. This selvages will work just fine. So we'll make a few and just tuck them under there. And again, I'm going to make the length of my stitch shorter. Well, that didn't quite work. Let's do it again. Okay, now we're going to try this. No? Pretty good. Pretty good. And if it's just not quite perfect, then I will, yeah, that looks okay. Then I'll reshape it like we did the other one. So we're gonna be making this perfect. Okay. Well, at Marlene's level of perfect. There. Oh, that's the best one yet. Okay. Now, if I could find my clapper, wonder where I put that. Okay, I see it. I'll be right back. So, we hit it with a little heat, and then we'll put the clapper on. That really does help. All right, then let's try this again. Make sure it's right there where it belongs. Good. Don't you think those are the best yet? Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to straighten those out a little before we sew them. So it's just a sliver. But it's an important sliver because otherwise it won't connect up nicely with the other pieces. See? That's squared up. There we go. So here we go again. We can do a couple of these together anyway. Now let's see, which way does it say to press them? Away from the gray legs. Okay, and then we put those two together. Yes. So just making sure that the edges are right together. Now that we've squared them, they should be matching just perfect. Okay, now we'll get this end on. Part number I. Now I usually will sew from the side that has the most seams, that, you know, control it better. I'm okay with that one. How about you? Looks pretty good to me. Okay, while that's cooking, let's go to the next one, the corner units. Okay, it's a blue triangle, E. What did I label these? I hope they're the E's. Yes, they are. Well, no, it looks like an F to me. Let's see what these are. These are E's, the little tiny guys. Oh boy, watch my P's and Q's there. Use the flipped corner method and stitch an E on one corner of an A. All right, one corner of an A. Here's an A. And we'll put an E there. These bigger ones I could use pretty much any of my pins. But again, I'm going to put the pin in perpendicular to where I'm going. And then it says to put a flipped corner C, which is a gray. A, C. I wonder if these are the C. Oh, these are the C's. See, this color. And I'll keep the one that I marked, and we'll put this one here. And let's see, how many are we going to make of that? Use the flipped corner method to stitch E on one corner of A. There we go, bingo, bango. And then we stitch a C and repeat to make 4 of those. Okay then, let's lay them all out. Here's our other 2 finished units. And as I lay these out, I'm trying to make the sheep go up and down, but they are a random, so... But the one predominantly in the middle of the block, I'm going to have standing up straight. Wonder if that'll make any difference. Oh well, that's what I'm going to do. So the blues go in the upper left corner on all 4. And the gray goes in the bottom right corner. Okay, here we go, here we go. And there's no up or down on these. Directional, it's not directional. I don't think any of these are really, but sometimes I get a little too focused on, are they directional? Make sure, you know. Because there's always that project that you've done where you get it all done and it's all precise and then the animal's going the wrong way and you have to be happy with it. And I don't like that. Or the flowers upside down. That's what I did on that, where is it hanging? Oh, I folded it up. This is my, well, that's something else. This is my old blue, and it's a collage. And on right in the middle of the truck, I have the flowers going upside down. But once they're sewn on, and then all these little fine quilting stitches over them, I'm sure not going to tear that whole thing out, you know. So every time I look at my collage of my old blue truck, I see that one spot. Now, nobody else apparently sees it, but I do. Alrighty then, we'll put those together. Yes, that's exactly. You know, I always go back and triple check. Did you watch me do that first Callie & Co block where I made mistake after mistake? 3 times I had to tear stuff out. So now I'm going, okay, even if I'm on camera, I'm going to take the time to re-look at it, match the color, bingo, bingo, yes, yes, okay, sew it. You know, having this little tape here is so nice because all you really have to do is make sure that point stays on that red line. And it does not require me to try to guesstimate. It's quite nice. See what I mean right there? Can you see that? Okay. Well, you can't see that. What I'm telling you. You gotta just keep it on the little red line and we're in good shape. Now we'll just take these apart. I really like these snippers, because I have such wonderful big long animals here, but they're sort of unwieldy. They're so heavy. All right, now we'll go back down and do all the blue ones. Oh, that shifted a bit. There. I'm unable to be perfect, so if I see something a little bit off, I try to fix it before I do anything further to it. Now for these seams, well, let's see. Arkansas gals, she uses the rotary cutter for these. So let me try doing that. It makes sense because then you got it all, you can just line up the seam on that first 1/4 inch. And then it's consistent. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, and then this next, right in there. I hope that's not too much glare for you, but it really helps me be able to see where those lines are. Someone asked in one of the comments where I got this lamp at, and I'm pretty sure it was at Joann's. Probably at least 10 years ago, maybe 7, I don't know. Quite a while. And I think as we age, we pretty much need a little more light, unless, like my girlfriend, she needs less light because of her, what is it, glaucoma is bothering her. But I don't know how you see in less light. I need more light. Now see, those don't get completely flat. Maybe I need to use a spray bottle. Oh, that made a difference when I pressed down on the wool mat. Let's do that. Okay, let's do that with these two too. Well, so much for that idea. Having this wool pressing mat is worth the money. Now these look really good. I'm happy with them. I think I'm going to try and erase some of that purple marking. There's purple marking on one of these. And it says it has an eraser in it. Let's see if it works. Oh, it does. Well, good. See? These don't have any. Now these have some on these edges, so I'm going to take those off too. Okay. Well, it's under there. There. Oh yeah, that's way better. What's the deal, Hannah? Did you just wake up? You can come over here, Hannah. Hannah Banana, come here, darling. Come and say hi. Oh, you can't see her. Oh well. Hi there, Fluffy. She needs a haircut real bad. I gotta trim around her eyes so she can see me. Boy, those eyelashes are, how long are those? Let's measure them. Hold still, dear. 2.5 inch long eyelashes. You're a fur ball. Yes, you are. You're a fur ball and didn't know it. What a loyal dog. Man, what a good breed. It's a Labradoodle. And we got her used, as a rescue at age 8. And so she's age 9 now. Hi, baby. All right, now, what's the, yes, dear. Okay. And the next thing we're going to do is some star points, is what it says. So the next thing is some alphabet B, beige B. Are these B? Oh, they are. Okay, and we're going to make how many of those units? You know what I've been doing? I've been running ahead without finishing up what I started. Well, that's crazy. And I didn't do the head unit. Oh man, I must be distracted today. 46 minutes into this, and I'm now realizing I didn't do the head, the ear, but I have the other parts done, I guess. You can see, I'll show you. Just sort of skipped over that whole front page. Well, I'll get that done, and then I'll put in the end of the movie a picture of the completed lammy part. All right? Thanks for being with me as I just meander through this stuff. And I hope you're more efficient when you're putting something together. Have a good day. And again, I'll come back to you as soon as I get this done. Oh my goodness sakes.